another really great film, and it goes back to my question with Boardwalk Empire, the difficulty of certain roles doing. Very, very difficult. 12 Years a Slave. How did you, every night, what you do when you would go back, when you go back to your trailer or to your hotel? Did you have a therapist there and stuff? That's it's an unbelievable movie, and it's an unbelievable book. However, how did you do it? I mean, anybody that went through that, I can just imagine, it's a tough experience.
Yeah, I didn't realize what I had done, what that movie was, until I watched went to the premiere, and I realized, okay, I got the full thing of what I was a part of. 12 Years a Slave, I can't really explain the experience I had on that set. There was one scene, I'll tell you, that we did that didn't make the movie. Steve, he shoots in series sometimes, just without cutting, again. And we had shot this scene where I was being dragged to the boat, and then they got me, and my character was like, he was the Nat Turner of the crew. You know what I mean? So he was banging out with him, and they beat the shit out of him and threw him down in the hole, right? So we did this like 4 or 5 times, and the 5th time, he yelled cut, and I couldn't stop like screaming and crying. I went into this ball, and I just cried and I screamed, and I looked up, and I mean, it was like the clouds were moving in like time lapse speed. It was just the most surreal thing, at least in my mind it was. And if I was a betting man, I would think that the ancestors came and gave me a glimpse into what really went down. What really went down, what was really endured, and it broke me down.
Steve he's one of the best directors, but he does an unbelievable job with him and Brad did in getting this film made. Unbelievable. Were you surprised when it went on to win the Best Picture? A lot of people, the critics, they had it written off that it would not win Best Picture. And then it wins Best Picture, and it was well deserved. Were you surprised?
I just felt proud to be part of it. I felt proud, one of the few times I sat home and watched the Oscars, and I just felt proud to say I was a part of that, and I just hope that the ancestors were just smiling. Tell the story.
Have you seen Lupita on Broadway in Clips? She's excellent. It's a great. By the way, it's a great play, and she's excellent. They're all excellent.
Yeah, she's dope. We speak often. She and I.
How did she do those? How did she do those scenes? Because those scenes are crazy.
First of all, like my respect for her, is just she's a young woman in Hollywood. We all know that, the double standard with women, especially women of color in Hollywood. And here she is, beautiful, young. She's the it girl now, and she got the Oscar, and she could have easily gone to Hollywood, and
right.
for the dollars, and did that whole thing. And she recognized the fact that although she came in very early in her career and went to the very top, she still recognized the fact that there was still some growing that she needed to do. So she brought her craft and her gift and her instrument back to the stage where I'm from theater, and for her to do that with her education and an Oscar in her hand, it spoke volumes about how she sees it, which is, how she is navigating her craft. And I just, the piece is awesome, story about 5 black women being told by 5 black women on Broadway, being written by a black woman. I can't run that fast.
but how do you think she did it with 12 Years a Slave? Because her scenes are so brutal.
Yeah, unmarried.
You know,
it's basically borderline unbearable. You still watch it. You're still watching it, but it's almost unbearable. She does an unbelievable job, but for her to go through it, I don't care that she's acting. It has to be painful.
Well, you know, for pieces like that, you know, after a while, it's, in my mind, it's not about, you know, how can I endure this? It's about how could our ancestors really went through this? How could they endure
That's the right
this?
answer.
You know, and, you know, I have to tell their story. You know, this is, in my mind, that's where she went to endure that for the people, the men and women that went through that for real.